Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in to another Mystic Fitness live yoga flow. And I am just can't keep the smile off of my face this morning because we are on plan to reopen June 29th, 2020. So there's still a lot of things kind of up in the air. There's still some things that we're going to have to go over, but we are ready to reopen when we can, and that will be June 29th. Amy will address more of those questions, comments, and concerns this Saturday morning. So please tune into our Saturday morning class where Amy will kind of come on and talk a little bit more about the logistical side of things. But I think today is just a great day to just celebrate and, let all of those questions kind of go onto the back burner for a couple of moments and just really celebrate the small victory that we have of having a date, a little light at the end of the tunnel where we can look forward to and plan for. So thank you guys for your continued support. Over the next 6 weeks, we're going to stay the same as we always have, providing you guys with a live morning class every morning at 9 a.m. So nothing's going to change over those next 6 weeks. And then hopefully it will roll us right into a reopening. And like I said, Amy will address more questions and whatnot. She'll come on a little bit earlier on Saturday morning. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I would say tune in at about 8:55 Saturday morning so you can type any questions you have about our plan for reopening. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that we're able to have some sort of game plan. I think we were all kind of craving having a little, what's the word? Having a direction to kind of go in, and now we have that. So I just want to celebrate with you guys this morning for that small victory. And I am so looking forward to having you guys back in our physical studio. Like I said, we're still going to be providing you guys with 9 a.m. yoga classes on our live stream that's coming to you from Instagram as well as Facebook. And then these classes are archived on our Facebook page afterwards. So if you're not able to tune in at 9 a.m., you can tune in at a later time that fits better for your schedule. We also are posting all of our content onto our YouTube channel. So this is something that you can share with your friends as well if they don't use Facebook or Instagram. And it's super fun learning how YouTube works and all that good stuff. Good morning, Joan Mays, my mom, and Marty. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I've enjoyed so many yoga classes here with my mom right next to me on her mat. So definitely excited to get back into that routine. So if you guys feel inclined to make a donation to Mystic Fitness, you can go on to our Venmo page or go on to Venmo, look up Mystic Fitness, and you can make a small donation and you will get one of these wonderful handmade masks. I will assume that these masks are going to still be utilized throughout the grocery stores and whatnot. So let's still make sure we have the correct safety materials so that we can really squash this virus completely. All right, and with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So go ahead and grab your mats, get nice and comfortable. You can either find a seated position or reclined, any posture where you can allow yourself to let your eyes close and let your breath flow. And just start here with a couple breaths. In these first couple moments, as we enter this space, this practice, it's almost like we're bringing our energy and our thoughts from a boil, and kind of reducing that temperature until it comes to this slight simmer. Instead of having constant bubbling thoughts, maybe it's just one or two bubbles here and there. Your focus can find your breath pattern. Noticing how each breath is this little cycle of inhales, bringing the oxygen into the body and lungs. And then this cycle ends with an exhale, releasing what no longer serves you, allowing that energy to float back down into the earth. And there are so many cycles like this within our lives, within nature. Within our society as well. Taking another deep breath in and letting it go. As you expand through the lungs, start to invite some reawakening into the fingers and toes. Maybe even opening and closing the jaw a couple times to release the tension in the face. Rocking the head side to side, just reawakening here. Eventually, bringing the hands over your heart. And bringing that simmer, that energy, taking it and utilizing it throughout our practice. Maybe an intention arises from this space. Perhaps your intention this morning is allowing the thinking mind to take a rest and connecting to the dialogue that happens within your body. And that language is through sensation and breath rather than words. We'll begin our practice by joining our vibrations in a sound of Om, preparing with a cleansing breath. And for Om, big inhale. Have a wonderful class, everyone. If you are in a reclined position, start to bring yourself back up into your seat. We'll start with a couple warm-up movements sitting. So if you want to sit cross-legged, or maybe you want to sit onto the heels, or using any block or cushion underneath you. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. And then with the exhale, dropping the right fingertips to the ground, finding that side stretch on the left side. Inhale, coming through center, both arms reach up. Then with the exhale, dropping the left fingertips down, finding the side stretch on the right side body. Taking this one more time on each side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, dropping right fingertips. Inhale for center. And exhale, left fingertips drop. Coming all the way back to center, bringing both arms up to the sky, and then dropping them down into some goalpost arms, creating some circles throughout the wrists, rotating them in one direction and then in the other direction, flaring the fingers apart from one another and wiggling them a couple times, just preparing our wrists for some weight bearing here. And if you are just arriving into class this morning, you've made it just on time, go ahead and find your way into a seated position. Shake those wrists up a little bit. And then we'll incorporate some movement through the shoulders, rolling the shoulders up and away from the ears. So these are movements that we usually take in every class, especially for our vinyasas. And they're super important for preventing any future injuries. Let's go ahead and take those in the opposite direction. Sometimes we forget about those wrists and shoulders. We really got to make sure we get them nice and warmed up. Let's inhale, open the arms into goal pose and kind of peel that chest through, gaze up. And with the exhale, pull the elbows towards one another as you look towards the belly and kind of curl the spine. Inhale to open and peel that chest. Exhale to curl and round in. So these are very reminiscent of our cat and cow postures. So just let that same energy of moving through the vertebra kind of open you up. Last exhale here to curl. And then coming into your table pose, allowing the wrists to stack below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And let's continue a little bit of spinal movement here by finding a couple cat and cows in this position. So inhale, dropping the chest. Exhale, curling and rounding. And notice how now we are able to access the lower back a little bit more than when we were sitting. So really bring your attention into that location of the body. Last full round here. Inhale to find that cow posture. And exhale to curl. Letting these motions turn into some circling through the pelvis, dropping the hips towards the right, swinging back and around. You can always take this on the forearms if the wrists need a little extra attention today. And these circles can be as expansive or as small as you desire. So again, we're kind of tuning into the dialogue that happens with our body. And that dialogue is communicated to us through sensation. So as you're moving, notice what you're feeling. Are you feeling tight within the hips, hamstrings, shoulders? Connecting to what feels good here. Eventually letting this motion sink you down into a child's pose for a moment, letting the hips sink back. Knees can be close together or far apart. Arms can reach forward or behind you. Or maybe you use the hands as a little pillow underneath the forehead here. In our child's pose, this is a very humbling posture. We're showing our gratitude for this practice. Connecting back to our intentions that we set for our class. And sometimes an intention won't arise at the beginning of class, but maybe come to fruition in the middle of your class. Keep yourself open, keep yourself curious. Eventually returning back into your table pose, finding a nice flat back, and then extending the right toes to the back of your mat, keeping the toes on the ground to start, and taking some back and forth presses. So we're getting into the arch of the foot. We're also getting that nice juicy stretch through the calf here. And again, this can be maybe just moving by a centimeter at a time, or if you'd like to get a little bit deeper into the calf, you might even, as you press back, start to kind of pick that left knee up off the ground. This makes this a little bit more intense. You're utilizing a little bit more of your weight. Find one or so more. And then eventually return back into a centered position and reach the right heel up towards the sky, but keep it in line with the hip. So notice we're not going for this like super long and extended leg up towards the sky, but we're trying to keep it tucked in one line with the hip. Now from here, you can stay exactly as you are, or maybe you challenge your balance by reaching the left arm forward. Let's find some core work here. So inhale is a pulling of the limbs apart. Exhale is a pulling of the limbs towards one another through the midline. Inhale for that extended table, reach long. Exhale, curl it in. 5, 4. Try to really engage through the glutes as well as the abdominals. Here's our last 2. And 1. Inhale, extend long once again. Drop left hand to the ground. Bend that right knee. And we're going to take some pulses through the glute here. So our right leg is in a 90-degree angle with the foot flexed. And then we're just going to try to tap the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You should really feel that resonating in the glute. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release back into your table pose. Rock the hips over to the left. And then rock the hips over towards the right. One more. Swing here. Coming back to center, this time extending left toes to the back of your mat, keeping the toes planted and finding those back and forth presses once again. Getting into the left calf this time. And we're also stretching through the toes and the arch of the foot here. So these are both locations that we kind of sometimes tend to forget about in our yoga practice. From here, if you like, as you press back, maybe the right knee lifts up off the ground, so we're utilizing a little bit more of our weight into that stretch. Returning back to center, picking the left toes up off the ground, but keeping the heel in line with the hip. Flex that left foot. Engage through the core, but you want to make sure that breath is natural. Maybe that right arm extends so that we can really peel the limbs apart from one another. Exhale, curl the elbow and knee towards the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, extend. Keep the left leg where it is. Drop that right hand. Bend in the left knee to a 90 degree. We're going to take those glute activations here by pulsing left foot up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release out of this. Maybe you sink back into a child's pose for a little breath here. Tucking the toes under, lifting hips up and back. Find that first downward facing dog of the morning. Start to pedal your feet out here by dropping one heel to the earth and then picking the opposite heel up. Finding some movement to enhance this hamstring stretch here. We're not forgetting about that upper body. The fingers are spread wide. Shoulders are pulling down and away from the ears. And the shoulders are even spreading apart from one another so that the upper back is nice and open. Coming in and out of some bent knee dogs. Inhale, drop the knees to a hover, hips pull up and back. With the exhale, extend to your plank pose, but make sure those shoulders don't go past the wrists. Inhale, peel it back to that bent knee dog. Exhale, plank pose. 3, 2, 1. Holding in your plank pose here. Breathe it in. Breathe it out, falling in love with this plank, making sure the elbows have a little micro bend in them. Chest is pulling forward, hips are tucked underneath you. Go ahead and drop the knees to the ground. Chest follows with the exhale, elbows pointing back. As you land, inhale is your low cobra, peeling that chest up, chin stays tucked. Exhale, release. Let's find one more low cobra here. Inhale, peel it up. And exhale, release. Making your transition back to your table pose, and then finding that downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. So that was our first version of chaturanga, finding a low cobra and having the knees on the ground. Let's go ahead and play around with our more intense version of our chaturanga. So find that bent knee dog. With the exhale, come into your plank pose. Now choosing here if you want to keep those knees lifted or dropped into the mat. Inhale. With the exhale, lowering halfway if you're going for that full chaturanga. Inhale, peel the chest open, keep the knees and thighs and hips engaged up off of the earth. This is your up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So both versions of chaturanga have a purpose and a use. That first version of chaturanga is a little bit easier on the core, so that you can really focus on the moving parts of that posture. And then, of course, keeping those knees lifted, you are going to be accessing a little bit more of a strengthening. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, prepare. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat, forward folds. Deep bend in the knees, relax down in your forward folds for a moment. You can grab onto opposite elbows and shake the head, yes and no, sway from side to side. Releasing the grip you're working with, fingertips to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, folds. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. And with the exhale, hands to heart. We're going to ground down here and continue working our strengthening, pressing the feet into the earth. We're going to come in and out of some chair squats and follow that with some twisting from left to right. So let's practice our chair pose here just to set it up. Make sure the feet are hip distance apart and really flare the toes and then press them back into the earth. Inhale, arms sweep up. With the exhale, bring the hands towards the heart as you sit back into your chair pose. So in yesterday's class, in Kelly's class, the other Kelly, we did this little chair squat where we did some cat and cows. So I want you guys to just kind of play around with tilting the pelvis towards the back of the room and then tucking the pelvis underneath you. So notice that difference. And then find that happy spot right in the middle where you're not arching the pelvis back too much or tucking too much either. You want to find that nice happy medium like Goldilocks. From here, bring the hands to the outsides of the knees. Press your knees into your hands and hands press back. Notice how that fires up the outermost edge of those glutes. That's the energy we want here. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. With the exhale, sit into that chair and twist to the right. So left arm pulls forward, right arm pulls back. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale. Exhale, twist right. In and left. In and right. Try to keep those knees with that same energy that we had with the hands pressing against them. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to center. Exhale, sit down into that chair pose. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, hold for the last second, And exhale, forward fold. Relax down into this posture. Shake it up if you need to, rocking the head, yes and no. Inhale for a halfway lift. And with the exhale, hinging forward, keeping the right foot where it is, stepping left foot back for a runner's lunge. From here, taking a couple quick back and forth presses. If you like to drop that left knee onto the ground for these back and forth presses, please feel free to do that here. Creating some dynamic movement through the right hamstring and left hip flexor in this posture and this movement. Eventually returning back into your proper runner's lunge. So if that left knee dropped, go ahead and pick it back up. Reaching the chest up for a runner's lunge hover pose. So we're pulling the arms back with the palms facing down. Feel that nice long extension coming from the back of the left heel all the way to the crown of your head. With the inhale, arms reach up, find your crescent lunge. And with the exhale, return back to your hover. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hover. 3 more, in and out. 2. Last one. Inhale, coming back to that crescent lunge. And with the exhale, dialing left heel down, open up to your warrior 2. In your warrior 2, make sure that the feet are spread far enough from each other so that you can find this nice wide-legged stance, but making sure that they're not so far apart from one another that you lose the foundation of this pose. The foundation of this pose is planting the feet so firmly into the ground that they feel like they're ripping the mat apart from one another. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath here. Flipping right palm, inhale, reverse your warrior. And then with the exhale, find that side angle posture here. So we're rotating the right arm towards the inner right thigh. Depending on where you are this morning, you might prefer to have that right forearm on top of the thigh as a little shelf for support, or you might consider reaching the right fingertips out towards the right so that you're engaging through the abdominals, pressing those feet firmly into the ground. Last breath here. Coming back to your warrior 2, extending the right leg long, reaching the arms up towards the sky, and then with the exhale, return back to that warrior 2. Inhale, extend. Exhale, warrior. Last one, inhale and exhale. Inhale, flip right palm, reverse your warrior. And with the exhale, cartwheel hands down to that runner's lunge. Hands plant, right foot steps up and back for a 3-leg dog. Let's open up our hip here by bending the knee, dropping right heel over towards the left. Extending right leg back up to the sky, square the hips, choosing to stay here and drop that right foot to the ground to find a downward facing dog, or keep that right leg extended. We're going to roll forward into our plank here. So we're either going for a full plank or for that 3-legged plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhale. With the exhale, lower for your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll find 3 breaths here. I'm going to grab myself a little quick drink of water if you need one as well. Now we got to do that on the other side, so hopefully I remember all that good stuff. Inhale, bending the knees, gazing forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. And with the exhale, hands to heart. Find this posture of grounding here, pressing the feet into the earth. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. And with the exhale, let's sink back into a chair pose for 10 breaths here. I know we're letting that weight come into the heels, pressing those hips back. If you liked, you can bring the hands to the outsides of the knees once again and press into the hands, and hands press back into the knees. That's the same energy you want. You want those outer thighs really engaged here. We're on 5 more breaths. Inhale, exhale. 4, 3, 2, stay for the last one, and exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, shake the head, yes and no, relax through the hamstrings, notice that blood flow and energy from that chair. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, left foot stays where it is, right foot steps back for a runner's lunge. Find those back and forth presses here. You can always drop that right knee to the ground if you like that instead. Getting a nice deep stretch through the left hamstring and right hip flexor here. One more breath. And then we will return back to our proper runner's lunge. So feet are hip distance apart, left foot is plugged into the earth, right toes are on the ground, heel is lifted. Pick your chest up for that airplane runner's lunge. Palms face the ground, fingers spread wide and reaching behind you. So we're feeling that energy from the right heel all the way to the crown of this, reaching forward and pressing back. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hover. 5 more, in and out. 4. Keep that core engaged. 3, 2, and 1. Finish off in that hover. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Exhale, dial right heel down, open up to your warrior 2. So in that warrior 2, left toes are facing forward. Feet are spread from one another, but we're making sure that they can still maintain that same activity of pressing into the earth. Make sure that left knee doesn't go past the ankle because you're going to put a lot of pressure in that front part of the knee, and we want our joints to be supported and safe here. Open the arms up apart from one another. Take 2 breaths. Connect to this warrior energy. Inhale, flip left palm, reverse your warrior. And with the exhale, find your side angle pose, pausing here for a moment. So the left wrist or forearm is towards inner left thigh. If you need that left forearm on top of the thigh as a little bit of support, you can take that as well. Or to challenge yourself, maybe those left fingertips reach towards the left. 2 more breaths here. With control, slowly pick yourself back to that warrior 2. Extend left leg as fingertips reach overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, extend. Exhale, warrior. Last one. Holding in your warrior 2. Flipping left palm, inhale, reverse. With the exhale, cartwheel hands down to your runner's lunge. Hands plant, left leg sweeps up and back, 3-leg dog. Open your hip here, bending the left knee, dropping left heel over towards the right. Lengthen left leg, square the hips. We're going to come into our plank pose. So you can either keep that left leg extended for a 3-legged plank or drop the toes to the ground. Hold for the inhale and exhale. Last inhale. Exhale, slowly lower for your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Taking any necessary needs here, if you need a swig of water or a child's pose. And then we will get into some nice balancing postures here. As you return back to your downward facing dog, take a breath to clear and exhale, let it go. One more cleansing breath in and sigh. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. And exhale, hands to heart here. So grounding down into our mat, staying at the top of our mat, feet are hip distance apart. Ground down, feel that energy like roots growing into the earth. Inhale, arms reach up. And with the exhale, opening the arms into a T. Inhale, peel the chest open. And with the exhale, taking right arm underneath left for a eagle variation of our arms. Or grabbing onto opposite shoulder if that full grip is not available for you. Starting by sinking down into our chair pose here, taking the left leg up and over right for your eagle pose. Now, that doesn't have to be a full bind by bringing the left toes behind right calf. In fact, those left toes might just kind of land where they are right on the outside of the calf here, Or maybe you find that full bind. It's not necessary in this posture. The main goal of this posture is pulling those knees into the midline, making sure the chest is lifted. Breathe in, breathe out. Squeeze the joints towards one another. Woo. If you fall out of it, come right back in. Beautiful. Slowly start to come out of this pose by lifting the arms up. Pull the left knee in towards the chest. And with the exhale, land back to your mountain pose. Hands pull to your heart. So I hope you guys are heating up just like I am. Getting a little sweat on. We'll take that to the other side, starting the same way we did it on the right side. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up. Exhale, open the arms into a T. Inhale, peel that chest open. And with the exhale, take left arm underneath right, either grabbing onto the opposite shoulders or finding that full bind. Sinking into your chair pose, transferring the weight into left leg, right leg picks up and over left, finding our eagle variation here. So make sure those knees are kind of pressing towards one another, pressing towards the midline. Try not to drop your chest too forward. Imagine that you're pressing your back up against a wall. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last breath here. To come out of it, reach the arms up to the sky. Pull right knee in towards the chest. And exhale, land. Pull the hands towards your heart. Open your arms and can find some empty coat sleeves from side to side. Letting that stop naturally, coming to a slow movement until you are back to stillness. Inhale, arm circle, sweep up. And with the exhale, pull the left knee in towards the chest. Interlace fingers on top of left shin and kind of pull the knee in towards the chest. So we're finding this standing wind relieving posture. Right glute is turned on and engaged. Maybe you rotate that left ankle. And then we're going to pulse in and out of some dancing Shiva posture. So it's going to look a little something like this. We're opening left leg out to the left, right arm out to the right in a goalpost position. This is your inhale. With the exhale, pulling the knee and elbow back to the midline. Inhale to open. Exhale, center. To make this a little bit more challenging, both arms open to goalpost so that that left leg is floating using its hip flexor strength. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. To make this even more challenging, lengthen left leg for your last 2. And 1. Beautiful. Coming back to that dancing Shiva posture, grabbing onto the shin if you took that arm off. If you're the dancing type, maybe you grab onto the foot and extend the leg up. Last breath here. And with the exhale, slowly release out of it. Shake up that right standing leg. Take a moment here. Yeah, eagle pose is pretty difficult if you have a little sneeze about to come. Any balancing posture for that matter. All right, we'll find that to the other side. So ground those feet down once again. Inhale, arm circle, sweep up. With the exhale, pull the right knee in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze here. Maybe rotate that right ankle. Fire up left glute. And then we'll take that same progression of movement. So open right arm out, or right leg out to the right. Left arm out to the left in a goalpost position. This is your inhale. With the exhale, pulling the knee and elbow back to center. Inhale to open. Exhale, center. Maybe you choose to find both arms into a goalpost, relying on that hip flexor strength. Inhale and exhale. Maybe for the last 2, you lengthen right leg. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. This is so challenging. Inhale, exhale. Coming back to your proper dancing Shiva posture, left arm out to the left, right leg out to the right. If you're the dancer type, you can grab on to the right foot and extend to your dancing Shiva posture for your last breath here. Inhale. And with the exhale, slowly release out of it. Shake up both legs. Shake out the wrists. Give yourself a little wiggle here. We'll come to the top of our mat and flow back onto our mats. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. In for that halfway lift, lengthen nice and long. Exhale, hands plant, stepping or hopping back to your plank pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Stick with it, inhale. And exhale. Drop down onto your forearms for your forearm plank. Keep the palms open and pressing onto the earth. Try to let those hips lower. Pull the chest forward. 5, 4. Stick with this challenge. 3. You got this. 2. We're going to stay for the last full round of breath. Stick with it. And with the exhale, drop the knees and hips to the ground. Find your Sphinx pose. Try to keep that chin tucked so that the neck is a natural, elongated extension of the spine. And we're kind of using the energy of the forearms on the earth to kind of peel our abdominals nice and long. So we're using that nice juicy stretch here. Sometimes I imagine myself like a little slug or snail, and I'm kind of trying to drag myself across the room. When you're ready, release out of your Sphinx pose, one ear to the mat, arms reach alongside of you. You can bend the knees and windshield wiper feet from side to side if that feels nice. And that windshield wipering of legs side to side, give the quads a nice little massage on the earth. And this is also a very low impact way of unwinding through the lower back, that connective tissue. So if you're ever dealing with any lower back pain, this is a beautiful posture that doesn't take a lot of effort, but really has so many benefits and is pretty much accessible to any body type. We'll find a couple back strengtheners this morning, starting with a locust pose. So keep those arms alongside of you with the palms facing down. And to start this posture, we'll begin by just peeling the chest and arms up off of the ground, kind of flying. If it's okay for your lower back today, maybe the feet reach up off of the ground. Keep the toes flexed and engaged, or pointed and engaged. Really pretend as if you're flying through the sky. Inhale and exhale. Keep that chin tucked to protect the neck. Last breath here. And exhale, release out of this posture. Pausing here, taking a little detour for a quad stretch. You can bring the right forearm underneath the head as a pillow, bend left knee, and grab onto foot or ankle. You want to start this posture by maybe picking up that left thigh and really reaching the left knee towards the back of your mat, and then providing yourself with just enough energy of bringing that foot towards the body and pressing the foot away from the body, so you're finding this contrast effect that gives you that deep stretch. For me, my quads are pretty open, so I like to take a block and place it underneath left thigh, and then kind of use that as a pillow where my leg is a little bit more extended, so I can get into a deeper stretch here. So use your best discretion. Sometimes rolling from side to side can also provide a little bit of a deep tissue massage kind of effect on the thigh. Last breath here. Releasing out of this posture, switching it out for the opposite side. So the left forearm comes underneath the head, bending right knee, grabbing onto foot or ankle, starting by lengthening the right knee all the way to the back of your mat, and then providing yourself with that energy. But we're going for a stretch here. We're not going for a half bow pose. We're just going for that nice juicy stretch. Again, maybe a block was calling your name underneath right thigh, using it as a little bit of option to get a deeper stretch through the quad. Last breath here. Releasing out of this pose, and then we'll finish off with our last back strengthener here on our bellies. We're going to go for a skydiver pose. So I want you to open the arms into goalposts. Palms are open towards the earth. Bend the knees into a 90-degree and flex your feet as if you're trying to press the ceiling away from you. We're going to pulse in and out of our skydiver this morning. So with the inhale, peeling the arms and legs up off of the ground as if you're flying through the sky. Exhale is a gentle softening, but we're not exiting the posture. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, soften. 3 more. In and out. You really got to engage through those glutes and pull the shoulder blades together. And release. Last time, you choose to hold in your skydiving pose. Or if you are open enough for this and feel ready for a bow pose, you can reach behind you, grab onto feet or ankles, and kick into the hands, and hands pull the feet back. This is your bow pose. For me, I am welcoming this posture because my body is warm, my quads are open. So use your best discretion here. Last breath. And exhale, release. Follow that up with that windshield wiper of legs side to side. extending the legs long, lifting yourself into your table pose, finding a quick little child's pose just to find an opposite rotation of the spine. So we went from a super arching of the spine, and now we're going for a little bit more of a rounding of the spine to kind of find that equilibrium once again. Find your way onto your backs when you're ready. Reach the arms and legs apart from one another in a stick pose. Getting nice and long. Then pulling the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a nice squeeze here, rocking from side to side. Planting both feet on the ground and then taking right ankle up and over left thigh for a figure 4. Start by just dropping the shape from left to right a couple times. Getting a little unwinding through our lower back as you find a gentle rocking. If you'd like to get into this posture a little bit deeper, you might interlace hands behind left thigh and pull the shape in towards the chest. Just make sure that if you are interlacing the hands and pulling this shape towards you, that that lower back stays planted on the earth. So you don't want that lower back to start to curl up, because then we're kind of losing that hip flexor stretch. We want to have a nice long spine, all vertebrae pressing onto the earth. For a little self-assist here, you might even take the right palm, kind of press that knee away from the body, right knee away from the body. Eventually, left foot lands back on the earth, keeping right ankle stacked over left thigh, dropping the shape over towards the right for a reclining twist. You might notice once you arrive there that you no longer want to keep that right ankle stacked on left thigh, and in that case, you can just remove it and find a couple nice deep breaths here in your twist. And those exhales are so important to really soften you into this. Last breath. Coming back to center, both soles of the feet to the ground. Taking a left ankle up and over right thigh, figure 4. Taking the same progression of movement, starting with some rocking left to right. Enjoying each variation of movement. If you'd like to get a little bit deeper, you can interlace the hands behind right thigh, pull the shape in towards the chest. Again, remembering that the entire length of your spine should be on the mat, and that includes the lower back. If you'd like to give yourself a little self-assist, you might bring the left palm towards left knee and kind of press the knee away from you. So a lot of the time in yoga, we use this contrast effect to stretch. So that contrast effect could be the right knee pulling in, whereas left knee pushes out. Similar to how we do our quad stretch as well, we're pulling the foot towards the body while using the energy to kick the hand away. That makes sense. And releasing the sole of the right foot back to the ground, dropping the shape over towards the left, finding that same reclining twist. Again, you can always take that left ankle off of right thigh if that is serving no purpose for you this morning. Two more breaths here. Eventually coming back to center, taking any last posture of your choice. So Maybe a waterfall extending the legs up towards the sky, or a happy baby grabbing onto the soles of the feet, pulling the knees towards the shoulders. Even a reclining bound angle, letting the soles of the feet come together, knees flop out. Wherever you are, find about 3 or so breaths, and then we'll enter our final resting posture. And just a couple options on your final resting posture. If you have a sensitive lower back, you might consider, instead of lengthening the legs long down your mat, you might consider bringing the soles of the feet to the outer edges of your mat and letting the knees flop towards one another, so that lower back is fully pressing on the earth. This might be a little bit more comfortable for you depending on what you're dealing with in the spine. This is also kind of like a nice comforting posture of using the support of the knees to keep your legs lifted. Let a wave of breath come over you. Find your comfortable spot for the end of our practice. Take a cleansing breath in, and exhale, release. Imagining that you are this seed planted into rich soil. Your roots growing down into the earth. And then this sprout arising from the surface. Bright green leaves basking within the sun. Let the euphoria of this simplicity hold you. Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. slowly start to return back to your physical body, I encourage you to stay within this space, stay within this grounded energy even as you re-enter the real world. Eventually picking yourself back up into your seat at the close of our practice together. Bringing your hands over your heart. Taking this moment to bow to the mysterious nature of this universe. Showing gratitude for the fact that our paths have crossed in this karmic way. And truly there is magic in everything that we do. You just have to want to see it. We'll seal our practice in the single sound of Om, starting with a cleansing breath. Breathe in and out. Again, inhale. And that first breath after Om symbolizes a bright new beginning. Thank you all for coming on to your mats this morning. I truly admire your dedication to this practice and the excitement within my heart bows to the excitement within yours. Namaste. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning for another live flow. If you have any suggestions for postures or anything you want to go over, please drop a comment. Reach out to me personally. I'd be happy to do that for you guys. And I am so looking forward for the future of Mystic Fitness. And I hope to see you guys soon, 6 weeks. All right. Thank you guys, and namaste.